What is it different from men?
Yeah.
What for men is good?
No, that's the interface changing. Okay, you're already live.
Vidura vacha tasya silanidehe sadhu Brahmanasya mahatmanaha Rajyaha sutam adbudusta Prajaya vimanaviyam Vidura vacha Vidura said tasya of him Anga Shila nidehe reservoir of good characteristics Sadhu saintly person Brahmanasya level of Brahminical culture Mahatmanaha great soul Rajyaha the king Katam how Adbhut is what Dushta bad Praja son yet by which Vimanaha indifferent Translation Vidura inquired from the sage Maitreya, my dear Brahmana, King Anga was very gentle. He had a high character and was a saintly personality and love of Brahminical culture. How is it that such a great soul got a bad son like Vena, because of whom he became indifferent to his kingdom and left it? Please respond. Vidura inquired from the sage Maitreya, my dear Brahmana, King Anga was very gentle. He had high character and a saintly personality and love of Brahminical culture. How is it that such a great soul got a bad son like Vena, because of whom he became indifferent to his kingdom and left it? Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. In family life, a man is supposed to live happily with his father, mother, wife and children. But sometimes under certain conditions, the father, mother, child or wife becomes an enemy. It is said by Chanakya Pandit that a father is an enemy when he is too much in debt. A mother is an enemy if she marries for second time. A wife is an enemy when she is very beautiful. And a son is an enemy when he is a foolish rascal. In this way, when the family member becomes an enemy, it's very difficult to live in a family life or remain a householder. Generally, such situations occur in the material world. Therefore, according to Vedic culture, one has to take leave of his family members just after his 50th year, so that the balance of his life may be completely devoted in search of Krishna consciousness. Amagyanatimirandasya ginanam ginashalakai shikshadan militamina tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Satvitam Yena Bhutale Swam Rupa Kadamam Dadati Swapadandikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yuta Padakamalam Sri Gurum Vaishnavam Cha Sri Rupam Sikajatam Sahagana Raghunatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Shadvitam Shavadutam Parajanam Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishakanatam Sha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopija Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Shavanu Sutta Devi Pranamami Hare Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namaram Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Śrīmati Bhakti Vedanta Samiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Desatarine Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shiva Shri Gaura Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So here King Anga, he was a saintly personality, descendant of Dhruva Maharaj in that line. But how, being such a saintly character, he got a son who is very, demonic. How did it happen? So the verses will go on to explain that how that the wife, she was not coming from a very good background. Her father was death personified, is it? So because of that, because naturally the son, he will take the qualities of the mother. And the daughters will take the qualities of the father. It's like that. So son, he took the quality of his mother and that line, and he became a very, very, demonic person. So then the father, later on you'll read that the father tried to reform him, but he could not reform him. He became very much depressed because he had such a son. In fact, you can see he says here his realization. Then the king thought, a bad son is better than a good son. Because a good son creates an attachment for home, whereas a bad son does not. A bad son creates hellish home for which an intelligent man naturally becomes very easily detached. You see how he is, This is the idea that we have to understand our objective, a goal of life is to develop love for God, Krishna. Our goal of life, as the karmis are thinking, to have a very nice family, nice wife, nice house, nice job, nice this. This is not a very Krishna conscious, situation. That's why the karmis and us, we don't, see eye to eye. We are praying, please take everything away. Kunti Devi said, where that was? Give me that. What was that? Cut off my, what was that? 1-8? You sure 27? No. Yeah, 1-8-30. No, 1-8-30. Sneha Doshyati. No. Anduhiya. 1-8-41. You see how she is praying. She is actually a, woman. She is praying, O Lord of the universe, soul of the universe, O personality or the form of the universe, please therefore serve my tie of affection for my kingsmen, the Pandavas and the Vrishnis. See that? And in another verse, she is saying, let my mind flow like the Ganges. Hmm? The next verse. You see, she said, cut off my ties. Then she said here, Tvai me anya vishaya mati madhupate ratim utpahata uttaha gange vegaham udangvati. O Lord of Madhu, as the Ganges forever flows to sea without hindrance, let my attraction be constantly drawn upon you without being diverted to anyone else. You see how a prayer. So this is actually the purpose of human life. Our human life is to get attracted to Krishna. So what happens is that we are getting diverted. Family life, children, nice job, this, that, security. We tend to get a bit, what we say, illusion. We start thinking that the material world is nice, my family situation is very good. They try to think that my wife is also very good. Everything is very good. In fact, it is explained here in this verse. In other words, Deha Patra Kaladrish, was that? 2. See here in this verse, Deha Patya Kalatradishu Atmasaneswa Satswapi Tesham Pramatto Nidanam Pashyanapi Na Pashyati. Very nice, you can see the Sanskrit. Person devoid of Atma Tattva do not inquire into the problems of life. Being too attached to fallible soldiers like the body, children and wife. Although sufficiently experienced, they still do not see their inevitable destruction. How, you see, this consciousness, they are so much attached, they cannot understand that these things are all temporary. You follow this point? They cannot see that. Pashyanapi na pashyati. Pashyan means seeing. Na pashyati means not seeing. How is it possible you seeing and not seeing? It's because of the pasa bandha. Asha pasha bandha. You understand? So this is so strong. This family tie is so strong. It is very strong. Extremely strong. That it completely put us in illusion. Instead he says, what is that verse? Pumsham Sri Maituna Eta. Aham Mameti 5:5 18 14 8 5:5 You see how this conditioning takes root. Pumsam Sri Mituni Bhava Metad. Mituni means sex life. Pumsa means man, Sri means woman. Mituni means sex life. Tayo Mito, Hridaya Granti. When the sex life happens, then the Hridaya means heart. Granti means knotted. The heart becomes tied in. Oh, we love each other, we're going to live forever. I also thought like that, actually. I was so much in illusion. I was thinking that we're going to be married and I'm going to stay 90 years old and my wife is going to stay 90 years old. I never thought 1 minute, finish. It woke me up, actually. So what had happened, the heart gets knotted and then we start thinking about Ata Graha. Graha means house. Kshetra means field, Field means either you are farming or you are business or something, a job. And Sutta means children, Apta means relative, Vittaye means wealth. Janasya Moha, this is how we get illusion. Moha means illusion. Aham, I'm start thinking in terms of aham, me and mine. See how this is so powerful translation. The attraction between male and female is the basic principle of material existence. On the basis of this misconception, which ties together the hearts of the male and female, one becomes attracted to his body, home, property, children, relatives, wealth. In this way, one increases the life illusion and thinks in terms of I and mine. So this is how a person gets completely covered over. And he cannot think beyond that. Actually, he gets very angry, when you see like Narada Muni was speaking to, who's his name? Prajapati Daksha. He delivered his sons. He first had 10,000 sons and he preached to them and sent them back. And then he kept quiet. Next round he had 1,000 sons. Again he preached and he sent them back. Wow. Durvasha Muni was, Prajapati Daksha was fuming. You understand? He said, what kind of sadhu you are? Where's that page? Can you take it out for me? I will read that. How the householders is so conditioned, he start thinking. Prajapati Daksha, I think after the Prajanabahi, is it? Who can search for me? So what kind of sadhu you are? You are not sadhu, I am sadhu. You are sadhu, you are spoiling people's life. Family life you are spoiling. That's what we get complained to. We take somebody here and make him a devotee. Whole family get upset. You do not know what the real meaning of sadhu. You are disrupting family life. You are a rascal actually. You have you are living on our donations and you are doing this to me. This is what they also say. But they tell us, you getting my money and you doing this to me. You see? In fact, one of them parent came and actually I had a fight. He beat me up because his son joined up. See how they are. Mind. So, Krishna consciousness is, Narada Muni got so much curse. And he cursed him that you will never stay in one place for more than 3 days, something like that. And Narada Muni said, no, what he said? You will never have what? A permanent place. You will never be, because householders want something permanent. Yes? That's why mainly there must be house, everything permanent, right? But for the brahmachari sannyasis, they don't want something permanent. They are always moving. So he cursed them. You will never be in a permanent place. Narada Muni take a good blessing. You see how the materialist thing and the spiritualist thing are two different. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also was cursed. One Brahmin didn't come in, was not allowed in the kirtan. He got so angry, he cursed. You will never, prosper materially. So, good blessings. It's okay then. You see that? Huh? 6:5:43. 43, So we all will hear this very nice verse. You have made me lose my sons once, and now you have done the same inauspicious thing. Therefore you are a rascal. Who does not know how to behave toward others? You may travel all over the universe, but I curse you to have no residence anywhere. See how the materialists. And what did Narada Muni do? He delivered them to the spiritual world. Understand? You see how it's so attached. Attachment. Huh? Is there any more words after this? Sukadev Goswami continued, my dear king, since Narada is an approved saintly person, when cursed by Prajapati Daksha, he replied, Tat Badam, yes, what you say is good. I accept this curse. He could have cursed Prajapati Daksha in return, but because he is a tolerant and merciful sadhu, he took no action. See how? So you see, this is the mentality of the materialists. They want to become permanent in the material world. Yes or no? Everything they do, they want permanency, permanent residence. Right? Yes. What's the idea? Because they cannot understand that material world is temporary. You follow this point? So they are very much stuck with this thing. In fact, Lord Brahma said, I think we showed you that verse many times. No? What is that? Lord Brahma said, Lord Brahma said this, you see this. Tavat raga adyaha stenas tavat kara graham. Tavan moho angiri nigado yavat Krishna nate janaha. My dear Lord Krishna, until people become your devotees, their material attachment and desires remain thieves. Their homes remain prisons, and their affectionate feelings for their family members remain food shackles. See this point? Yeah? In fact, there's a few more verses describing the life of these householders. You can see here. I think it is in the 11, 17, 46. Let me see here. No, I think it's 27. Is it 27? Yeah, we'll try and say this word. What is this verse? In the daily verse. I think it's 17, is it? 17. Got the verse. Yeah, I got it. Six. Yeah, you can see here in this verse. But a householder whose mind is attached to his home and who is thus disturbed by ardent desire to enjoy his money and children, who is lusty after women, who is possessed of miserly mentality, who is unintelligently thinks everything is mine and I'm everything, is certainly bound in illusion. This is the next verse. Oh, my poor elderly parents and my wife and mere infant in her arms, my other young children. Without me, they have absolutely no one to protect them and will suffer unbearably. How can my poor relatives possibly live without me? You understand thinking? Huh? Thus, because of his foolish mentality, a householder whose heart is overwhelmed by family attachment is never satisfied. Constantly meditating on his relatives, he dies and enters into the darkness of ignorance. This is consciousness. So this is the problem. The problem is that if you are so much attached to family, consciousness, then he brings an attachment whereby he again has to go into a hellish situation. You know, his home sweet home business brings you to what? To hell. It's dangerous. In fact, there is another verse you can see. I think it is in the 11, 7. This is the story about the pigeon who was very attached to his family. This story is about a pigeon. One should never indulge in excessive affection or concern for anyone or anything. Otherwise, one will have to experience great suffering, just like this foolish pigeon. This pigeon story is very nice. There once was a pigeon who lived in the forest with his wife. He had built a nest within a tree and lived there for several years in her company. The two pigeons were very much devoted to their household duties. Their hearts being tied together by sentimental affection, they were each attracted by others' glance, bodily features and states of mind. Thus they completely bound each other in affection. So that's the story of the pigeon. Naively trusting in the future, they carried out their acts of resting, sitting, walking, standing, conversing, playing, eating, and so forth as a loving couple among the trees of the forest. Whenever she desired anything, O king, the she pigeon would flatteringly cajole her husband and in turn would gratify her by faithfully doing whatever she wanted, even with great personal difficulty. Thus he could not control his senses in her association. Then the female pigeon experienced the first pregnancy. When the time arrived, the chaste lady delivered a number of eggs from the chaste birds. I don't know how that works. Within the nest, in the presence of her husband, she delivered babies. When the time was ripe, baby pigeons with tender limbs and feathers created by inconceivable potency of the Lord were born from those eggs. The two pigeons became most affectionate with their children and took great pleasure in listening to their awkward chirping sound, which sounded very sweet to the parents. Thus, with love, they began to raise the little birds who were born of them. The parent birds became very joyful by observing the soft wings of their children, their chirping, their loving, innocent movement around the nest, and their attempt to jump up and fly. Seeing the children happy, the parents were also happy. Their heart bound to each other by affection, the foolish bird, completely bewildered by the illusory energy of the Lord Vishnu, continued to take care of the young offspring who had been born to them. One day the two heads of the family went out to find food for the children. Being very anxious to feed their offspring properly, they wandered all over the forest for a long time. At that time a certain hunter who had appeared to be wandering through the forest saw the young pigeons moving about near the nest. Spreading out his net, he captured them all. The pigeon and his wife were always anxious for the maintenance of the children, and they were wandering in the forest for that purpose. Having obtained proper food, they now returned to their nests. When the lady pigeon caught sight of her own children trapped within the hunter's net, she was overwhelmed with anguish, and crying out, she rushed towards them as they cried out to her in return. The lady pigeon had always allowed herself to be bound by the ropes of intense material affection, and thus her mind was overwhelmed by anguish. Being in the grip of the illusory energy of the Lord, She completely forgot herself and rushing forward to helpless children, she was immediately bound in the hunter's net. Seeing his own children, who were more dear to him than life itself, fatally bound in the hunter's net, along with their dearmost wife, he considered equal in every way to himself. The poor male pigeon began to lament wretchedly. The male pigeon said, "Alas, just see how I am destroyed. I am obviously a great fool, for I did not properly execute pious activities. I could not satisfy myself, nor could I fulfill the purpose of life. My dear family, which was the basis of my religiosity, economic development, and self-gratification, is now hopelessly ruined. My wife and I were ideal match. She was always faithfully obeyed me and in fact accepted me as a worshipful deity. But now seeing her children lost and her home empty, she has left me behind and gone to heaven with our saintly children." Look at that. Saintly children. "Now I am a wretched person living in an empty home. My wife is dead, my children are dead. Why should I possibly want to leave? My heart is so pained by separation from my family that my life itself has become simply suffering." But as the father pigeon wretchedly stared at his poor children trapped in the net on the verge of death, pathetically struggling to free himself, his mind went blank, and thus he himself fell into the hunter's net. The cruel hunter, having fulfilled his desire by capturing the head pigeon, his wife and all the children, set off for his own home. In this way, one who is too attached to family life becomes disturbed at heart. Like the pigeon, he tries to find pleasure in mundane sex attraction. Busily engaged in maintaining his own family, the miserly person is fated to suffer greatly along with all his family members. Along with all his family members. Understand his business? The doors of liberation are wide open to one who has achieved human life. But if a human being simply devotes himself to the family life like the foolish bird in the story, then he is considered as one who has climbed to a very high place only to trip and fall down. That's why the first thing that Krishna does if he favors someone, you know what he does? The first thing he does. What is that verse? 10, what? 10, 8, 8, what? 88, huh? This is the first thing Krishna does. He says, Sri Bhagavan Uvacha. Who is speaking? So, Yashyaham Anugranami. Yashyaham, my mercy. Yashyaham means my anugraha. Harisye tat dhanam sane. Tato dhanam tyajanti yasya swajana dukha dukkidam. What is the meaning? The personality of God has said, if I especially favor someone, I gradually deprive him of his wealth. First thing Krishna does, take away his what? Your money. Then the relatives and friends of such a poverty-stricken man abandon him. In this way he suffers one distress after another. So what Krishna does, if he really favors someone, he puts him in this situation. Why? Why does he do that? It's a very important point why Krishna does that. If someone he favors. When he becomes frustrated in his attempt to make money, instead befriend my devotee, I bestow my special mercy upon him. The whole idea is to make him get detached and get attached to the. So all those who come to our temple are pokai. Finish their millions, only they come. You see that? Why? Because if we got bucks, you will never come here. No way. Understand? It's natural. So the four kinds of people surrender to me. What are the four kinds? The first one is what? Bhagavad Gita 7:15, 7:14, 7:15, 16. One who is in distress. Without being in distress, never come here. Never. You follow? And when he gets the favor of Krishna, and Krishna takes away the attachment, then yes, and you start seeing things properly. Actually, the real thing is that he gets a befriend my devotee. That is the crucial thing in life. Because if he gets associated with the devotee, then his material life is finished. His material life is without association with devotees, there is no possibility of actually coming out of material life. It is not possible. That's why Krishna said, go, you will make him go to the devotee. And by associating with devotees, he will learn. He will learn what is material life, what is spiritual life. He will learn who is, what is real love, who is the person he should love. All these things with devotees, association, enlighten him. You follow this point? Then you may ask this question, Daksha Prajapati is supposed to be one of the Prajapati, then why is he also not speaking in this term? Question? Yes? He should be advanced to know this attachment is bad. Why? Why doesn't he know? Question? See, it is explained here in the Bhagavad Gita, I think in the 18th chapter, 1842 I think, or 1840 then. Yes, see this verse? Sanskrit. Natadasti pritivyam va divi deveshu va punaha sattvam prakriti jay muktam yat evisya trivil gunai. There is no being existing either here or among the demigods in the higher planetary system which is free from these three modes born material. The Prajapati is in the classification of demigod also. You understand? So you cannot come out of this Maya unless you are what? Devotee. You follow this point? A devotee's position is why is higher than the demigod. You're talking about pure devotee. You follow? Demigod position is very, what is that? It's subordinate. Because they have sense pleasure, they want to enjoy. But devotee's position is different. The devotee is understanding his natural association with Krishna. You follow this point? Whereas Daksha Prajapati, his name is Daksha. Daksha means what? Expert. Expert in what? Getting into secular. First he gets 10,000 sons, then he got 1,000, and finally he decided his son business is dangerous. He got 100 daughters. As the Prabhu said, no, Narada Muni will not go and preach to the daughters. Understand? Intelligent move. That's why the sadhus will never come there. Follow. So you see how Daksha was concerned about trying to maintain his, what do you call that, enjoying spirit. So devotees is different. They are thinking how to go back to Krishna. Whereas one who is in the enjoying spirit, he wants to stay here, enjoy as much as he likes, and when he dies, he also thinks he wants to come back. Be born in the family of his what? There's a word also. Everything there's a word. I think it's 11. What is that verse about the Vedas? 11:21, I think. Let me get that for you. Let me show you one verse that how they start thinking. See how they think. The worshippers of demigods think, we shall worship the demigods in this life, and by our sacrifice we will go to the heaven, and enjoy there. When that enjoyment is finished, we shall return to this world and take birth as great householders in aristocratic families. When excessively proud and greedy, such persons are bewildered by the flowery words of the Vedas. They are not attracted to topics about me, the Supreme Lord. See how they are This is how they start thinking, how they want to, come back again and enjoy again, even they know their life is temporary. There's another verse also. So you see how the conditioning nature is so very much prominent in the mind. And that's why the association of devotee is so essential. Because when we get into the association of devotees, then you see, by the association, what's that? What happened to the connection? They also give up, I think. Too much talking. This guy is talking too much. They stop this stuff. I can't. Maybe I'll just. I don't know what happened. You connect with? It's connected. All is connected. OBS is there, the verse is there. Maybe the Facebook.
It's not Facebook. See this one. This one.
Oh, yeah. Is it there? Connected, huh? Alright, see here, This is an important verse. One should learn how to associate with the devotees of the Lord by gathering with them to chant the glories of the Lord. This process is most purifying. You understand this point? There is no other method that is most purifying. Why? As devotees thus develop their loving friendship, they feel mutual happiness and satisfaction. And by thus encouraging one another, they are able to give up material sense gratification, which is the cause of all suffering. You understand that? Because of that association, they will be able to give up this sense gratification, which is the cause of all suffering. I think if you read the third canto, chapter 31, the whole family line is explained there very nicely. You go back and read it if you want to know more. How he progressed from attachment to hellish planet and then he comes back again. The whole thing is discussed very nicely. The whole Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam is not meant for householders. Please don't read the book. Honest. You read Mahabharata and Ramayana. Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam is for what? You want to become detached, then it's for the Bhagavatam. I mean, let's be honest, I don't know which chapter. I went to Russia, the lady was this. Can you please speak about Grahastha Ashram? I don't know where to find the verse. I only know two verses. That the householders, if they chant Hare Krishna, they also become like sannyasis. That's one verse. Consolation. Anyway, I show it to you so you also be happy. Every time bashing you, get fed up. Especially if I start giving class, this guy is going to start again. People run away and go to other groups. 7:15, 74, I think. The process of chanting the holy name of the Lord is so powerful that by this chanting, even householders, grahasthas can very easily attain the ultimate result achieved by person in the renounced order. See? By chanting, also can get. But that you don't do also then? You know what to say? And then there's another verse also in 64. Right? My dear Yudhishthira Partha, when all the activities one performs is not dedicated directly to the service of the Supreme Personality. Not the right verse, let me get it. '67. In other words, here it says, O king, one should perform his occupational duties according to the instruction as well as other instructions just to remain a devotee of God. But even while at home, one will be able to reach the destination. So in other words, we have to become a devotee of Krishna by all means. There's one more verse, I think in 4, 31 or something. I'm here. Refer to that. So you see how detachment is very important. Attachment to Krishna is actually principle. So how also we try to become comfortable materially, it's a no-go. It's not a win-win situation. It's a lose-lose situation. Material life is definitely painful. No doubt about it. So if you think that you can, this is another problem, when they get married, they start thinking that, no, my life is going to be perfect. I've got the perfect match. Everything is perfect and it's going to work. It's not a fact. It cannot work. It's not going to work because it's already declared. Here you can see. Sri Prabhudas said, accepting the roles of male and female in human society, the conditioned soul unite in sexual relationship, thus they constantly make material endeavor to eliminate their unhappiness and unlimitedly increase their pleasure. For one should see that inevitably achieve exactly the opposite result. In other words, their happiness inevitably vanishes, and as they grow older, their material discomfort increases. This is the sum and substance of material life. You cannot change that. It's not possible because we are not meant to stay here in this material world. We are all servants of Krishna. We have to go back to that position. There's no two way about it. So the sooner we realize that, the better it is for us. But if we want to live in this atmosphere of attachment, then the result will be painful. Definitely it is. I personally realized it. I also was a householder. I know how it is, attachment. And then when death comes, because my wife died, it's not very nice actually. It's not something you enjoy, Hey? So I don't think it's only going to happen to me and everybody else is going to be escaping that. It's no fact. It's going to happen to everybody. So if we are intelligent, better we, understand these things. At least even I'm not going to practice is another thing, but at least I should understand this. This is the material world. And not try to live like the ostrich or the rabbit, hiding their head under the sand and thinking nothing will happen to me. I also was in that illusion. No. This thing. No, the other guys will die. I know I'm going to. Reality, this is reality. The reality is reality. Birth, death, old age, disease. Nobody can escape. The only way you can escape this is becoming a devotee of that. Alright, so thank you very much. Any questions or comments on these verses?
The previous verse is the word Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam.
What number?
7:64.
What?
What is the meaning of that?
What is that? This verse? 64. Oh, Kriya Advaita. You want to know what is called Kriya Advaita? One reaches oneness of activity is called Kriya. That means you do something for Krishna. It's called Kriya Advaita. Kriya means work. Advaita means one. Isn't it? Okay. No more questions. We stop here then. Thank you very much. Jai. All glories to Prabhupada.